Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sunstone, and today's video is very special because we have officially reached over 1,000 channel supporters here. I absolutely love this little community that we've been creating, and I adore how wholesome, creative, and kind you all are. I also think it's so incredibly amazing that over 1,000 people are invested in Coral Island exclusive content, since I'm a Coral Island exclusive channel. This is such a big deal in my opinion for an indie game, and I'm so excited about it for Stairway Games and Coral Island. Thank you all so much for your love and support, as I've really just still begun this journey. Moving forward, in addition to the type of content that I'm currently creating, I would love to eventually stream and also post gameplay, guide videos, and more. Of course, this isn't possible just yet, but as soon as it is, I will be on it. If you are new to the channel or have yet to subscribe, I would absolutely love for you to join the family. Now, all that being said, today's video is actually going to be pretty exciting and, dare I say, juicy, because I'm going to be pulling out some recent notes from the developer diaries on Discord that have been recorded over the past month or so. I've picked out some really interesting things that could give us insight into various unrevealed aspects of the game, and I just wanted to chit chat about these, make some speculations, and hear what you all have to think about them. I think they're definitely worth sharing with you, especially for those of you who are either not a part of the Discord or simply don't have time to read through all the updates, which is completely and totally fair because it's honestly a lot to keep up with. I'm so excited for this video, so let's jump right in. So there were a couple of interesting notes on June 15th. The team was working on NPC touchscreen animations, and I'm wondering what screens they could possibly be touching. Is each NPC going to have their own cell phone? Will we have phones as well as players? Does the lab have tablets for their research? Does the community center have a large touchboard style directory? I'm so curious about this one. I don't know why in my mind I didn't really think about technology as an aspect of the game, but of course it would be. It's not a dated game. It's modern from my understanding. I mean, Macy plays video games. It makes sense, but I'm just like, I didn't think about a touchscreen. So let me know what you think about this one. On this day, they were also working on icons for maple seeds, pine cones, and acorns, which I know are going to be absolutely adorable. They were also working on some sea scavengeable icons, oysters, scallops, mussels, and sea snails. These could simply be beach scavengeables, but I'm wondering if these are scavengeables that we can find while diving underwater, based on being called sea versus beach scavengeables. This would be a really neat way to implement the foraging system underwater, and would affirm my hopes that there will be more to collect outside of trash and sea kelp at the ocean floor. Maybe we could also get some artifacts and sunken treasures? What do you think? On June 16th, it was noted that the team is working on the exterior concept for a bathhouse. Now, in Stardew Valley, you unlock access to a bathhouse later on in the game after an earthquake clears a path to it. Here, you can recover energy quickly in the water of the bathhouse, which can be very useful in these sorts of games where your energy bar kind of depletes pretty quickly, or at least from my experience. Now, I have a couple thoughts on this. First is that in Stardew Valley, the bathhouse is separated into dressing rooms for males and females before connecting to the communal bath. And I'm hoping that in Coral Island, it'll all just be one space, since the game is taking steps to becoming more progressive, especially in the realms of gender and the like. The other comment I have is that later on in the developer diaries, it is noted that the team added earthquake sound assets for a mine lobby cutscene. Now, this could be entirely unrelated to the bathhouse, and I almost hope that it is. The team at Stairway Games has so much creativity, I would be disappointed to see the same sort of story of how the bathhouse becomes unlocked take place when there's really endless possibilities to how the story could be developed. What would be really cool to see is if you're in the mines and there's an earthquake and you actually become trapped temporarily, and then maybe this is when you meet the giants and they help you exit the mine safely and you eventually bring them back to your farm and so on. On June 17th, they improved the body slider in the character customization, which I'm personally very excited about. I definitely would like to see some curves added to areas of the body aside from just the stomach, so it'll be interesting to see how this feature evolves over the course of development, and if we will see an updated version of the body slider in the alpha version of the game. On this day, they also noted that they were working on the Sanchez Sanchez brothers' home, the Sanchez brothers being Rafael and Pablo. They further noted that Rafael's room is neater than Pablo's, and it apparently has some cute knickknacks and is very warm like his personality. Now later on they included a little teddy bear emoji next to a note about Rafael's room. How cute would it be if he had his very own teddy bear that he's kept from childhood, just sitting on his bed or something like that? I think that'd be so sweet. I think Rafael's a big softie. I also think it'd be really cool to see some like vintage horror movie posters around his room since he loves horror movies. I'm just so excited that we're going to be able to access these rooms in the alpha, and apparently there's also a garage at the blacksmith shop, so that's kind of cool. On June 18th, there was a concept that was censored. They put redacted in brackets when they have to censor something. However, they included 2 emojis, and let me tell you, emojis can be very informative. They tell a whole story of their own. There's the eyes emoji and the ghost emoji, and I'm thinking this is a hint at the graveyard, especially because in Pablo's bio, it is noted that he spends his spare time cleaning up the Coral Island graveyard. I am thinking this is a yes. I'm thinking they're working on a graveyard right now, and I'm really interested to see how they go about that. On this day, they also noted that they were modeling office and clerk outfits for generic NPCs. Does this mean that there will be unnamed, unidentified, or in their words, generic NPCs included in certain cutscenes that are depicted in an office or working in a store who will be wearing these types of outfits? Or are they designing outfits for anyone who works at Pufferfish or at one of the stores in Starlet Town such as Sam's or Socket Electronics? Also, like, who other than Karen works at Pufferfish? Hopefully none of our beloved townies. Fingers crossed. On June 22nd, they worked on walking variations for the NPCs, which I think is nice to know that there may be some variety in the style of how each character gets around Coral Island, similar to the player running animation options we previously saw in a developer update, which they also pointed to on this day, as it was noted that they updated character customization animation style. Now, this option was missing in the recent character customization showcase, and this definitely raised a few eyebrows, or at least a couple of mine, because I was definitely expecting to see it there and then it was just missing. But this note in the diaries leads me to believe that the animation style option will still remain a part of the character creator and will likely be included for testing in alpha, just like the team noted in their official update. They were also working on player sliding animations, which has me so curious. Is this like sliding down to the next level of the mine, or are we literally able to slide down a slide? Because I know there's a playground somewhere on Coral Island. I don't know, I don't know how much interaction we'll have with everything on Coral Island and how many animations we'll have, but sliding sounds fun. On this day in development, they also worked on the concept for a kiosk at the Cherry Blossom Festival. How cute does that sound? Oh my gosh. Now, this may just be for decorative purposes, which, to be clear, I'd be 1,000,000% fine with. It just sounds adorable in any case. But how amazing would it be if we could purchase little souvenirs here at the festival? Maybe outfits that match the festival theme that we could wear that day, little decor items for our home, some special seeds, a cute cherry blossom accessory for our pet. I could go on and on with ideas for this kiosk. You guys know me probably by this point and how my brain works, but regardless, it just sounds like it's gonna be so cute. So I'm excited, and I love cherry blossoms. It was also noted that although ranching won't be available in the initial alpha release, they may have another cute little surprise for us. And this was noted with a paw emoji. What could this be? Honestly, any animal related surprise I will take. They've also been working on NPC bedrooms for Valentina, with hints at surfing and sea life being included in the theme. Macy, with an emphasis on her pet lobster Steven. Noah, hinting at an alien theme. Eva, showcasing her happy-go-lucky personality and modest lifestyle. Betty, as well as Ling and Leah, who live in the old colossal mansion, which will feature a unique classic charm. They also have been working on the Hillside Manor, where Walter, Bree, and Luke live. Apparently it's very spacious and extremely pet-friendly in its design, and they have confirmed actually that the family dog Taco is a Shiba Inu. The team also noted that they are in fact building the interiors to match the NPC personalities, and likely also their fashion color palettes, since everything just seems to be so coordinated and interconnected. I believe this is what we all suspected based on Alice, Archie, and Joko and Dinda's revealed rooms, but it is really nice to actually get that confirmation that that's their goal. On June 25th, they also worked on the Coral Nursery, which I imagine will be involved in quest lines when we are diving. Now, typically, a coral nursery will be established in the ocean to attempt to help bleach bleached or otherwise injured coral fragments recover before being transplanted back onto the reef or fragmented and used to expand the nursery. A little fun fact about me is that I actually traveled to Fiji several years back to work on an ocean conservation project. I worked both out in the ocean, free diving on a coral nursery project, which was very exhausting. I've never swam for so long in open ocean, but it was very rewarding. I also worked on land in a rehabilitation program for hawksbill sea turtles, which are endangered in Fiji. So this is something that is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm so very happy to see that the team is really pursuing the coral rehabilitation storyline for the game with accuracy and depth. Now, that's all I have for today. It's actually quite a lot, and how exciting is it all? I feel like I'm following a trail of breadcrumbs and attempting to piece little clues together. Honestly, it's pretty fun, and the creative side of my brain absolutely loves it. I know that was a lot of information, but please stick around because now it's time for your top comments. So these comments were from my most recent video discussing some of the things that I don't want to see in Coral Island, which really was just a roundabout way to tell you all more of the things that I do want to see. The comment section for this video has some great ideas and really valuable insights, so I would highly recommend taking a look if you have the spare time. So Dark Serpent Cat left a very insightful comment that I would love to go through. They said, I don't want to see rapid tree weeds and other obstacles spawn. Obviously we still want them to spawn, but just not so frequently where you're constantly trying to get rid of puddles and stumps and rocks and and then they just reappear the next day. So I agree, it'd be nice to have that balance because obviously you still need the resources to be there, but it's hard if you're wasting a lot of time and energy on just clearing them and then it's taking away from other game mechanics. They also don't want mystery items to take up so much space in their bag. So again, in Pioneers, they're constantly running to the museum to get stuff appraised just for space to open up in their bag. I'm definitely hoping that items will be stackable. I know some definitely will be. I hope they'll be stackable to a reasonable amount. Again, in AC and Animal Crossing, there's a lot of items that you can't stack that I feel like you should be able to, and then there's some items that only stack up to like 10, and it makes no sense because I could easily collect like 50 in a day. So stacking and inventory management is a huge thing for me and a huge part of everyone's game experience, I think, and especially in a game where you're limited time-wise, you don't want to spend like a huge portion of it just trying to sort out your inventory. They also said they agreed with me about boring NPCs. I was kind of talking in terms of dialogue and personalities, but they also wanted to add that they don't want our partner, if we choose one, to just stick around the farm and do nothing after marriage, and I completely agree. I feel like that would be such a waste, honestly. So we'll see how they implement the post-marriage experience, and I do hope that there's differences between each partner in your relationship after marriage and just your relationship in general, because otherwise, like, what's the difference in me romancing and marrying like Alice versus Raphael if it's going to be the same story regardless of who I choose? And finally, they said they just don't want generic dates and activities. They made this comparison to My Time in Portia, which I haven't personally played, but I've heard a lot about it, and they said there's mini games that you could do on a date, but they're the same ones you could do dating or just hanging out with any NPC, and they didn't really fit as dates. And they said they would like for each candidate to have their own dates and mini games as you get closer to them. And honestly, this just sounds amazing. It would be really sweet if every single dateable NPC had at least one unique date that you would only go on if you dated that person, because that would be, again, an incentive to date a different NPC and a unique experience or cutscene or something like that, right? Also, having mini games would be really cool, like a unique mini game for each NPC, some sort of alien hunting with Alice, the mini golf with Suki, maybe you could watch a horror movie with Raphael. I don't know, it'd be really cool if there were really unique dates, and then mini games being incorporated would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for this comment. It was super insightful, super informative, and it seems like a lot of you agreed, so this was amazing to see and read through. Oracle card messages said, I'm in total agreement regarding special items that can only be gifted or sought out at special times, festivals, friendships. It reminds me of the rares in Webkins that were only available in Artie's Curio Shop at specific time periods. And I'm like, memory unlocked. I don't know if any of you played Webkins. I definitely did. And there were also like pet specific items that you would get when you adopted each pet. So it was like an incentive to adopt different pets. And that kind of goes hand in hand with what I was thinking about having NPC special items. So if you reach a certain level of friendship, you would get a specific item that was exclusive to that NPC. And that would be the only way you could get that item. I think that would be really cool. Rin Queen said, I just want to say that your videos have gotten me even more excited for this game. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Thank you. They said also your point about wanting the NPCs to be really invested in what the player is doing and just generally more alive is one of my biggest hopes for the game too. I also hope that after marriage, your partner is still a person and not just floating around the farmhouse with nothing to do. Ahem, Stardew. So again, this is kind of echoing the thought up here in more depth, and I completely agree. I think otherwise, like I said, what's the point? I want there to be character behind the character, and I want there to be more story or just something more. I don't want them to just kind of sit around on the farmhouse tending to crops and being basically lifeless. And the final comment I'm going to feature today is from Scott's Tots. I laughed so hard at this. They said, I just don't want to see myself losing it over waiting for this game, lol. And that is the best. I think that is so funny. I completely agree. You know what? We're all in this together and it's coming up. Alpha is almost here. We're getting closer and closer. We're halfway through July. We can do it. We're almost there. So we're learning patience, right? As I pull out my hair. No, I'm kind of kidding. Please leave a comment on this video and let me know if you have any predictions or ideas for some of the recent notes in the developer diaries that I spoke about today. And maybe you'll be featured in my next video. And of course, before I leave you today, let's take a look at today's amazing fan art. Today we have the most adorable artwork by Jane of Lily, Pablo, and Raphael on the beach on Coral Island. Lily is just kicked back reading a book while Pablo chases Raphael with a couple of crabs in the background. This gave me a giggle and I just had to share it with you all. The artist said that she really liked Lily's design and enjoys imagining characters in different situations. I completely agree, and I love seeing such scenarios come to life in all of the lovely fan art that we see in the community. I will link her information in the description of this video. Thank you so much for sharing your lovely art with us. Well, there you have it, friends. That was such an exciting video, and I had so much fun making it. Thank you once again for all of the channel support. As always, I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. I love you all, and until next time, take care.